This is the story of the butterfly that lands only on the dying. No one noticed it at first, just a butterfly, soft and silent, floating through the thick jungle air. But the elders watched, they always did, and they began to whisper. Because this wasn't just any butterfly, this one only appeared when someone was near death. It wasn't colorful, it didn't flutter like the others. It moved slowly, deliberately, as if it already knew where it was going, and it always went to the same place, where the breath was shallow, where the eyes were closing, where life was slipping quietly away. They called it the final wing. It came without fail, not every day, not even every year. But when it came, it brought a message the jungle never ignored. One time it landed on the chest of an old hunter, hours before his final breath. Another, it perched on a fallen cub as its heartbeat fit, and once it rested on a sleeping child only to disappear the moment the child gasped and returned to life, as if the butterfly had made a mistake. How could it know? Some say it can smell something, humans can't chemicals the body releases in its last moments. Others believe it follows energy, a soul loosening its grip. But the villagers don't call it science, they call it spirit. They believe this butterfly isn't just a sin, it's a guide, that it carries the final whisper of the forest and shows the way forward, not to scare, not to steal, but to comfort, to accompany. What's more mysterious is that it's never been caught. Cameras fail to focus. Hands can't reach it. Even when surrounded by hundreds of butterflies, this one feels different. It moves differently, as if it doesn't belong entirely to this world. Once a visitor laughed when told about it. He mocked the tale until he saw it land on his guide, who had stumbled earlier in the day. Hours later, the guide collapsed from an undetected infection. The visitor never laughed again. One day, deep in the emerald embrace of the jungle, a young woman named Laya felt her life ebbing away. She'd been bitten by a venomous snake, and despite the efforts of her worried family and village healer, her condition worsened. As dusk painted the sky in hues of purple and orange, Laya lay on a woven mat under the watchful gaze of the elders. Her breaths grew shallow, and her eyes fluttered, reflecting the fading light of day. Suddenly, a hush fell over the clearing. All eyes turned to the entrance of the jungle. Emerging from the dense foliage was a lone butterfly, its wings a tapestry of colors unseen in the monochrome of death. With measured steps, it approached Leah, circled her head, then gently landed on her chest. The villagers, steeped in tradition, understood this was no ordinary visitor. It was the final wing. As the butterfly remained perched on her chest, its presence both comforting and ominous. Laya's family, though heartbroken, found solace in the belief that she was not alone. She had the eternal wing with her, guiding her on her final journey. After what seemed like an eternity, the butterfly lifted off, silently vanishing into the darkening jungle. Moments later, Leah took her final breath. The butterfly's departure a silent knell, echoing the villagers' unspoken grief. In the aftermath, when the clearing echoed with somber whispers and the weight of loss, the elders recounted tales of the final wing, each story adding layers of meaning to the enigmatic creature. One elder spoke of a hunter who had scoffed at the butterfly's presence during his own demise. Yet when the hunter's son set out to find the elusive creature, it led him straight to his father's remains, proving the butterfly's connection to the souls of the departed. Another elder shared a legend, a myth that spoke of the butterfly as a messenger between worlds, carrying souls across the veil of death. According to the tale, the butterfly's wings bore the markings of the stars, guiding those it touched towards their celestial journey. But perhaps the most haunting story was that of a young mother who, like Laya, had been bitten by a venomous snake. The butterfly had come for her too, landing on her newborn baby, who was miraculously unaffected by the venom. The butterfly stayed for 3 days, offering its ethereal presence until the baby, guided by its silent vigil, instinctively began to suckle the mother's breasts, unknowingly extracting the poison from her veins. The baby survived, and so did the mother, forever marked by the butterfly's intervention. These stories wove a tapestry of understanding, reminding the villagers that the butterfly's purpose transcended their comprehension. It was a force of nature intertwined with the spiritual essence of the jungle. Then, as if summoned by the tales themselves, the butterfly reappeared, now perched on the windowsill of Laya's home, its presence a beacon of hope in their sea of grief. Laya's family, drawing strength from the community's belief, prepared for the journey ahead, a journey not just through their sorrow, but towards honoring their loved ones' final moments. As the night deepened and fireflies began their nocturnal dance, the villagers gathered around Laya's body. Incense filled the air with its earthy aroma, mingling with the sweet scent of flowers. The eldest of the village, his face etched with the wisdom of years, began to chant. His voice, a low rumble, resonated with the solemn beat of drums. In the flickering lamplight, Laya's family stood apart, each grappling with their own sorrow. Her husband, a man whose stoic demeanor betrayed a deep well of emotion, held her hand, his touch firm yet gentle. Her peers, their faces creased with worry and sadness, stood by, offering silent support. Her siblings, young and old, huddled together, finding strength in their collective grief. As the ceremony reached its crescendo, the chants growing in intensity and the drums beating in a solemn rhythm, the butterfly fluttered inside, landing on Laya's open palm. Its touch, a momentary chill, sent shivers down their spines. In that instant, as if responding to an unseen summons, Leah stirred. Her chest, which had been still, rose and fell slightly. A gasp escaped her lips, and her eyes, cloudy moments before, flickered open, revealing a startlingly clear blue. A stunned silence descended upon the gathering, broken only by Leah's ragged breaths. The chanting ceased, the drums fell silent, and all eyes were fixed on Laya, disbelief etched on every face. Then, as if awakening from a dream, Leah's gaze, now clear and focused, met the concerned faces of her family and the astonished eyes of the villagers. She looked down at the butterfly resting on her palm, its wings a kaleidoscope of colors against her pale skin. It remained there, unmoving, as if waiting for her to acknowledge its presence. Laya, her voice hoarse from disuse, whispered, What is this?" Her question hung in the air, unanswered. The butterfly remained on her palm, its stillness unwavering. Finally, the eldest of the village, his voice trembling with emotion, stepped forward. "Leah," he said, his gaze intense, "the eternal wing has returned you. The jungle, in its wisdom, has given you back to us." Leah, confused and overwhelmed, looked from the butterfly to the expectant faces of her family and the villagers. She could feel the weight of their gazes, the hopes and fears they were projecting onto her. The butterfly still perched on her hand, seemingly urging her to understand, to accept what was happening. With trembling hands, Leah slowly stood up. The butterfly, as if sensing her resolve, spread its wings and flew upwards, circling Leah and the assembled villagers. It danced in the air, weaving patterns of hope and resilience. Then, as suddenly as it had appeared, it vanished into the night. Leah, her eyes shining with newfound clarity, turned to her family and the villagers. She felt a surge of love and gratitude for them, for their unwavering support, their belief in her, in the face of death itself. "I am fine," she declared, her voice ringing with conviction. "The butterfly has returned me to you, and I will not waste this gift. I will live for myself, for my family, and for the jungle that has embraced me." Her words echoed in the clearing, resonating with the strength and spirit of the jungle itself. The villagers, their faces aglow with relief and admiration, responded with cheers. They celebrated Laya's return, their voices blending with the chorus of crickets and the distant hoot of an owl. From that day on, Laya's bond with the jungle deepened. She became a vital part of the village's ceremonies, sharing stories of the eternal wing, ensuring that its message of hope and resilience continued to echo through the generations. The butterfly, though rarely seen, remained a symbol of their shared existence, a reminder that life, like the jungle, was a tapestry of mystery, resilience, and unwavering spirit. If you liked this tale, remember to leave a like and share your thoughts. Your comments inspire us, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, do it now and become part of our community.